So today's topic of conversation, how one entrepreneur started a cannabis company literally from scratch after going blind from glaucoma. I want to welcome a very, very special guest to the show today. Very inspiring story. I had to have him on the show. My man, Al Morrington. What is going on, my dude?
Not too much, Henry. How you doing?
I'm doing awesome. I was psyched all weekend long to get you on today's show because what an inspiring story, my friend.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I'm super excited to dive into this. Let the folks know who don't know who Al Morrington is, what that backstory was all about, and how you came to found one of the most up-and-coming major cannabis brands in the industry.
Okay, so just real quick, I've been a holistic health practitioner and gym owner for 30 plus years, right? When I was in 6th grade, the first eye exam, I was told I have markers for glaucoma and I'm gonna go blind eventually. 6th grade, right? When I was 30 years old, I was told I have the full-blown glaucoma, right? And I'm gonna eventually go blind because there is no cure. It took me 17 years from that point to figure out how to stop going blind. And I finally figured it out through cannabis oils. And I stopped it for 3 years and just had a supplier, and I've been doing products and things like that for years. So I just kept it under the, just to myself, and because of the stigma. And then 3 years in, those guys lost their soul. And they gave me bad stuff. And within 7 days I went blind because my glaucoma is so advanced. So I got a new supply of oils and I created these formulations and got my vision back. And then I had to start the company, so I never run out of oils again, so I never go blind again, because my vision starts to break apart in just 1 day of not taking my oils.
Oh, wow.
So it's really, really crazy. My original company is My Fit Life. It's known all over the U.S. Holistic health and wellness company. This is Movida, so it actually is Spanglish for more life, because I needed more out of life than My Fit Life would give me, and that was the cannabis oils. So that's what this company is, and I just took it by the horns and grew it responsibly, and the way it should be, and here we are.
Wow. So how long have you been in business?
For this company, it's been 3 years.
Wow. Time flies, dude.
Yeah. And I've been managing it since 2013. At the time, I was the only one in the world doing it. Now I have like 19 people underneath me that are having success.
That is fantastic. So let's get into some of the war stories, shall we? Because I know my guests and my audience love the war stories more than they love the success stories.
Yeah.
So what were some of the trials and tribulations you went through when you were building Movida?
Well, probably the biggest one was the stigma, just like actually having a cannabis business. And like when I actually announced it, because I announced it and just said, I'm not going to hide anything, about who I am, anything. And I went from getting like, if I posted like, hey, I went to lunch today, I would get like 300 likes on Facebook. I went from doing that to saying like, I helped somebody, not have seizures anymore, and getting like 0 or 1 like, and so that was a big deal. So I basically had to not go after any friends or family, and just run it like a real business. And it really, it made it better for me. It made the business grow better and quicker.
Why do you think
every
that
other
is?
business I had, I went after family and friends first, because they tell you to do that. And this time I ignored it and just went after real customers. And I have a whole community and tribe now all across the U.S. that just supports me.
Wow. And so how did you get that story out? I'm just curious.
I hit the streets, you know. As soon as I figured out that I was, you know, that I needed to have this business, I just went on meetup.com and just looked for cannabis groups and just different things like that. And I found the Southern California Cannabis Business and Investors Group. And I went there, talked to them. They invited me over to their hub, you know, and in Hollywood. And, you know, I told them, they were like, prospectus, this, that, business plan. And I was like, I don't need any of that stuff. You know, I am a key person of influence all across the US. You know, Movida is a movement. It's not a business. And you're going to come to see what that means in a matter of months. And they were like, whoa, but they figured out who I was. And when I left that meeting, they actually, one of the founders actually wanted to put one of his products into Movida because he thought it could have more reach that way. And we were only like 2 months old at that time. You know, it was crazy. So people just believed in, because I had so much passion for it. Yeah. And they just believed in me and just kept on. You know, I from day one, the first person I told that I was starting a cannabis business, they offered me money. Like, I'll empty my bank account for you. So it was really weird. But I have that what they told me there was that I am the real deal, because I have that 30 plus years. I have programs. I'm a published author, you know, 21-day reset, AWOL way of life programs, you know, the foundation. And they say you are what the cannabis industry needs. And what everybody says they are, you are it. Everybody else is just marketers. So run with this stuff. So I did, you know, whether it was true or not.
So why is it so important to you to be known as the real deal in the industry?
It's not important for me. It's important for everybody, right? Because we need proper product. Like if I don't have the proper product, right, then I go blind. Like I had product and still went blind because they were making this awful product. They weren't making it right. It actually still got you high and everything too, because I was taking a high THC version at that time. So that didn't equate. I figured out a bunch of stuff that way. But I've been doing this for 30 plus years, and I have programs that have helped a lot of people, including the 21-day reset, like tens of thousands of people. And there's a great responsibility to that, right? And people are just putting out products, and especially the marketers with the funnels and all these kinds of things. They're putting out these products and just like going to these white label guys and trying to gruel them for the lowest price possible. And they're getting like bad products, and these people are depending on them. It's not like a flashlight, you know. This is stuff that people are depending on to get better, you know. And it's possible for them to do that with this stuff if they get the proper you know, stuff from the proper person. I know what to do and how to do it, and I've never faltered over the past 30 plus years. So it's just my responsibility to keep that out there and not let things get bastardized, especially by the pharmaceutical industry.
Wow. Listen,
yeah, because I can't have it taken away from me because I'll go blind.
Right. I can feel and sense the passion just coming through this conversation. And you know, I want to go back a second and talk about when you met up with those folks in the group down in Southern Cal, right?
Uh-huh.
What were some of the things that you said to them when you came into that group, you know, and what sparked that connection to getting those guys to sort of come behind you and rally for you?
Well, yeah, they saw that passion when I was telling them about that, you know, like we were a movement and all this kind of stuff. And then they started to figure out my background, and they were like, wait, like you have it, you know, and we know everybody, you know, and because they're an incubator. They you know, get people, you know, and investors together, and they're the, you know, Sweden, you know, basically, you know, that. And so And I was like, what about these guys? They're all, no, they're our marketers. They are marketers. You know, they hired a PhD. You're creating this stuff. Like, I actually walk the farms. You know, I go to the farms and I go to dinner with the farmers. You know, I developed the extraction process, you know, or refined it, and I developed all the formulations myself, right? So they're proprietary to me, you know, so they're proprietary to our company. And it's like we have 17 different SKUs. It's really, really awesome. So they were really excited about that part, right? And then I had to prove myself to them time and time again, just keep on showing up because there's so many people sort of, you know, telling stories and saying how, especially because there's so much money just being thrown around. Like, it was like the .com boom, right? Especially in 2016, 2017. Yeah, so I just kept on showing up and you know, bringing out the brand and being a real person. You want to? I also did it systematically too. This would be good for listeners that try to grow something. Is I did it in stages, because you can't just go, okay, we have the best product out there or whatever, and not even know it, right? So you know, because that's what people do. They'll do the marketing first and then the product afterwards. And with this kind of thing, you can't have that. This is with supplements and with CBD and things like that. You need to have a proper product before you go out to market, and it's going to really help people. And so I did that, and I went out there and I proved myself as a key person of influence, right? You know, that, and with the knowledge base and with all the different things, and bringing in the people that I said I knew all across the nation. And then I established the company as having the best extraction process and creating the best oils, the best raw materials possible. And we got known all over for that. I didn't even worry about product yet, you know, and just got known for that. Best extractor, me, you know, and just got known everywhere. And then I started to bring out products about 18 months in. I started to bring out product, and then people knew that I was one of the best, or the best, and then the extraction process, the oils we had were the best. So they had confidence that the product was going to be the best. And it just, like, our first day that we went out, we sold out. It was crazy. We put limits on like maximum 3 bottles. We only had 1 product at that time, and people were just like maximum. Like people paid in advance to get products shipped to them that wasn't even made. It was crazy.
So Al, how were you marketing this? Because I'm curious to understand, to get that much of an like demand, right? I'm just curious, like, what was your positioning when you were marketing? Was it, hey, I was once blind and this saved my blindness, this made my vision come back? Or, like, I'm just curious how people were so ravenous over this.
Okay, so both those things. There's the we went blind and got my vision back with cannabis oils and that kind of a thing for sure. That's like a door opener kind of a thing. And then like this thing back here, I don't know if you could see some of this stuff, like the foundation and 21-day reset, a way of life. I really brought that out, and those are programs that thousands of people have gone through and recovered from all kinds of conditions, you know, and I have proof of that, you know, and I have a history going back 30 years. I have people that are buying CBD from me now that were with me 32 years ago, you know, and so you know, integrity and having you know, doing good business the whole way. People are just saying, hey, like what do you think about me and CBD? All these other people, like, you've been in this your whole life, you know, like this is just another step for you, you know, that's sensible. But for the people that didn't know me, seeing those products, seeing my book, you know, Better Living with Whole Foods, that's on Amazon and things like that, it solidified me more, you know, than just some person barking and just saying stuff, you know. And then if you Google my name, you know, that I actually have, you know, the 10,000 plus hours, the 30,000 plus hours, you know, and so I have a history going back, you know, with the gyms and different, and the wellness centers and different things like that. But yeah, just being there all the time, and the getting out there into shows, you know, and in the public, because you can't advertise this on Facebook, you can't advertise it on Google, you couldn't advertise it anywhere. When I started it, you couldn't have bank accounts, you couldn't do credit cards, everything was cash. You know, it was like, so, you know, it was going back into the dark ages when you're not, you know. You know, and so yeah, I did as many as like 9 shows in a month, you know, and you know, and just went out there. Like we did 3 in 1 week one time, when, you know, 2 2-day shows and 1 1-day show, you know, and just kept on going out there and just being present in our market, you know, and taking over. So, you know, not trying to do the whole nation, just our area, right? And just getting like, so everybody, so anywhere we went, we're like celebrities almost, because like we just known.
Yeah,
and
when you say in your area, you mean like local geolocation?
Yeah, and then also back then it was strictly cannabis. Hemp wasn't even a thing, you know. So it was states, you know, like, so it wasn't the whole nation, sort of, it was a state. So I was just locking up California. I wasn't worried about Colorado, Oregon, anything. I was just getting known here, and then I was able to expand out, you know. Now I go out to Colorado, I go out to Oregon, I walk the farms, you know, and it's really interesting. But yeah.
Wow. All right. My head's flowing like 300 miles an hour with questions, because this is so good. This is so good. Okay. So for the folks out there that don't have, so let's get out of the cannabis industry for a second and just talk branding for a second, right?
Uh-huh.
For those folks who don't have the 10,000 hours put in, don't have the past experience and reputation that you have, right? Because I feel, and correct me if I'm wrong, did that not help you a little bit, sort of push Movida like and get its momentum a little bit quicker?
Yeah, it helped me a lot, but it helped me because I used it. Because I'm a marketer and I used it.
Okay.
You know,
so for the folks that don't have that backing, right? They don't have that experience under their belt. What would you recommend they do?
Well, there's a couple things they could do, right? They could keep on working, so they do get those hours. Number one, you know, they just keep on working, you know, and like with me, I with the business, even, I didn't go out and start slamming all kinds of product out. I held back, and I'm still holding back from turning on the faucet a little bit, you know, just because we needed to establish certain things and get a foundation before we go out there and do that. So that's the one thing, is being patient and building that foundation, even if it takes a couple of years. Because it did. Like I said, it took 18 months before I started selling our first actual product, right? So, you know, we did little things here and there, and did little case studies and stuff like that. But actually going to market and saying, hey, we are selling now, and it's 18 months. So that patience, and then persistence and consistency, right? Always educate, you know, always learn, and you know, and whether it's programs or. And then also do your own research, so you know that things are true, right? And then get a mentor that does have those real 10,000 to 30,000 plus hours. If it's a mentor, it would be more like the 20 to 30,000 plus hours, you know, and, you know, decades in the industry. And and then you say, like, I'm studying my ass off, I'm working my ass off, and I'm not just saying it, because people actually see it and they go, wow, this guy's doing this. And my mentor has 30,000 plus hours, and he confides in me, I confide in him, you know, and I learn from him every day. Anything that I can't answer for you, he can, and he's on speed dial, you know, that kind of thing.
I love it. Dude, Al, I absolutely love this conversation. I think you've hit so many nails on the head here. I could talk to you for hours about this stuff, but I value your time, and I have to keep this show tight. So let's get into the doc's prescription. So there's a bunch of stuff here, guys, that Al said that I really want to highlight and shed and put the spotlight on, because it's so invaluable when it comes to building your brand, whether you're a personal brand or a business like his. But the first thing that he mentioned was bad product equals bad business. Be careful. I know you want to get out there and do the sexy stuff. I know you want to get out there and start selling. But if you're putting out a BS product just to get out there, you're really, really doing yourself a disservice. So make sure that your product is outstanding before you go to market, because you get one shot to make a great impression. You don't want to be known as the guy or gal who puts out the half-ass product. You want to be known as the go-to, which leads me to the next point that Al said. And I don't even think you said it, Al, but I don't even think you meant to say it, but this is beautiful how it naturally came out. Al was known to be, quote unquote, the best extractor. So he was known for something. And so I want to ask you guys, what do you want to be known for? And go all in, go super, super deep on that. When you start to become known for something, that's when people are really going to start to recognize you and really start to respect you as a subject matter expert. The next thing he said was putting yourself out there. You know, there's a whole bunch of, me and my cousin were talking about this yesterday at a barbecue. There's a lot of keyboard warriors out there that have a lot to say, and they're behind the computer, and, you know, they're trying to make this impact, but their actions don't match their ambitions. You never see them at conferences. You never see them out there working with people, and it's just all talk. Al put his money where his mouth was and his actions where his mouth was, and actually got out there and did it. 9 conferences in 1 month? That's insane. So put yourself out there. You're not going to be able to do it behind the computer and all by yourself. The other thing he said was the foundation is key. I teach all of my Brand Accelerator program clients this. With a solid foundation, you can build the house or the brand as tall as you want it to be. But without it, one little bad storm, one little slow period, one little bad review, or a bunch of bad reviews, or if you're not positioning yourself properly in the marketplace, can blow that house down in a single swoop. So really pay attention to the foundation and build that as strong as you possibly can, because that's going to leave the legacy that you want for this business in the long term. Last but not least, patience, patience, patience. Get out there and educate, get out there and teach, get out there and learn, do the work, do the research. The reason why people don't have confidence in their businesses and brands is because they lack the knowledge, because they don't want to put in that work. I'm telling you right now, if you want to fast track that, find that mentor, like Al said. You know, I have mine, and I have a couple people that I lean on a regular, because I value their opinion, I value their insight, and they have the experience that I don't have yet. So very, very important. I mean, that's why people get into my Brand Doctors Growth Club, because it's a monthly coaching program, which allows that mentorship, allows that accountability, allows those people to really learn from somebody who's been there and done it. So really, really valuable stuff. So Al, I thank you so much for being part of the show today and really sharing these insights. Now, I want to get into the questions from the community. So we have a question today, and the question is how to handle controversial topics when creating content around your brand. So I'm going to give a short answer to this, and I'm going to shoot it over to Al and see what he says about it. So how to handle controversial topics when you are building your brand and creating content? Well, I'll tell you one thing. One thing that I would do is I would hit it straight on. I would hit it straight on and give them my honest opinion. I wouldn't waver. I wouldn't be wishy-washy about it. I would say, this is the stand that I am taking, and this is why. And you tell that story however you'd like to tell it. You're going to win some people over, and you may lose some people. Who cares? People will respect you more by taking that firm stance versus being that wishy-washy vanilla type of individual. Al, how would you tackle that question?
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that. You know, you have to draw that line in the sand and take a stand for who you are, because the only way to really go, you know, make a big impact these days is to go that super like micro sub niche kind of thing. And you're going to repel a lot of people when you do that anyways. So you just may as well meet it head on and be confident with who you are and be confident with the tribe that you're going to build. So you figure out your tribe, the people that you want to serve and that you enjoy serving, and then just go all in for them and say, hey, we're doing this for you, blah, 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 you know. And anybody you come in contact with, if they oppose you, say, hey, we have our tribe that depends and believes in me and in my company. And, you know, if you don't, then get out of the way, because you're going to just slow me down, you know, because I'm serving my tribe.
Oh, I love it. I love it, Al. Al, for those folks that want to learn more about Movida, want to learn more about you, where can we send them?
Well, movidaoils.com is our website, and it has some good information on there. One thing I'm doing right now is we have youtube.com/movidaoils, and that's a YouTube channel, and I'm putting out educational videos on CBD and cannabis, so people could be well informed, because they're asking questions about stuff, but they don't really know what the proper answer is to it. They just heard the question asked before, so I'm doing like deep, in-depth, all the way back to the history of it, you know, and then moving forward. So it's a lot of educational videos there. So that's a good place to start. Awesome.
Again, Al, thank you so much for coming on the show today and spending your time with us. And really, that invaluable insight that you left us today was truly inspirational and motivational. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
There you have it, guys. Another Brand Doctor podcast in the books. Real quick, if you haven't subscribed to this show yet, hit that subscribe button. Write us a quick little written review on iTunes. It is the fuel that powers this program. If you're watching us on YouTube, thanks for showing up and giving us your time. I hope you got some valuable insights. Drop some comments and questions below. Would love to keep this conversation moving forward. Last but not least, guys, the Brand Yourself course is out. It is brand new. It is revamped. It is the blueprint that is going to help you build a profitable and reputable personal brand. It's taking all the questions and the confusion out. I give you 13 years of my experience in this program, and I'm happy and I'm honored to share this with you. Check the show notes, check the description below. The link is there to enroll. Have an amazing day, guys, and I will catch you on the next one. Take care.